this, just remember to turn this off if you're not talking.
Turn it off.
Because all of any whispers gets picked up. Okay. When you want to talk.
So press it to talk?
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's City Planning Commission meeting. If you're here to speak, please go ahead and fill out a comment card, and then it will go ahead and be brought up here. We're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like the monitors are working today, so that is a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our two new commissioners, Commissioner Anthony Jackson and Mrs. Dawn Hebert. Welcome so much. We're really happy that you guys have joined us, and we look forward to working with you all. And Commissioner Jonathan Stewart was with our commission for a long time and has now moved on to another board, but we thank him for his years of service, and hopefully we'll do a proper send-off at some point. Commissioner Stieg, are you present?
If I answered no, what would you say? Yes.
Just keep moving along. All right, Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner Witry, yes. Commissioner Poche.
Present.
Commissioner Hebert. Commissioner Josie Gupta. Commissioner Jackson.
Present.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and read the formal public hearing rules. The City Planning Commission has established certain rules governing the procedures to be followed at public hearings. Before speaking, each person must give their name, their address, and state whom he or she is representing. Proponents for the proposal will speak for a period of 10 minutes. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 2 minutes. Opponents or other interested parties will speak second for a period of 15 minutes. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 2 minutes. Proponents will be allowed a period of 6 minutes for rebuttal. Each speaker shall be allowed a maximum of 2 minutes. Opponents will not be allowed to rebut. No material, written matter, photographs, maps, etc., will be accepted by the commission or its staff at any time during this public hearing. This procedure shall be followed except at such time when the proceeding officer shall, in the approval of the commission members, present extended time. We are first going to move on to adopting the meeting minutes from April 14th, 2026, and I believe everybody is signed in, so we'll be able to vote from our computers. Is there, yes, we have a motion to adopt from Commissioner Jordan, and we have a second from Commissioner Poche. Any discussion?
No.
All right, let's go ahead and vote. No. That's okay, you've read them. And the motion carries. The meeting minutes have been adopted. All right, here we go. 7 yeas, the motion carries. We're going to move on to our first order of business, which is zoning docket 02226.
Good afternoon. Zoning docket 2226 is a request for a conditional use to permit a commercial short-term rental located at 8112 Breakwater Drive in an SLM Lake Area Marina District in the Transient Lodging Interim Zoning District. While the site is in an SLM district that would otherwise allow a commercial short-term rental by right, this requires a conditional use as the site is in a citywide transient lodging interim zoning district, which allows such uses only as conditional. The subject site is comprised of a 2,500 square foot, 2-story boathouse and is situated along Lake Pontchartrain with primary street access via Breakwater Drive. This request was heard at the March 10th CPC hearing and was deferred to allow the applicant time to obtain municipal yacht harbor approval, which was ultimately granted at the April 14th board meeting. The staff finds that the proposed use is consistent with the master plan and meets the standards for approval in Article 4 of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance. Additionally, staff finds that the proposed use meets the approval standards written into the interim zoning district. Therefore, staff recommends approval of zoning docket 2226, subject to 2 provisos.
Thank you very much. We do have the applicant, I believe, here, Mr. James Calley.
Hi, James Calley, 8112 Breakwater Drive, 70124. I am returning again. Nice to see you guys. Since I was here last, I went in front of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Board 2 weeks ago and got unanimous approval for them to agree to co-sign the application for the conditional use. For those of you that are new, we have been short-term rental properties since 2020 when I bought it, but the one next door since 2016. These have been in my family since the 60s, the original since the 1960s, and I'm trying to continue to use them as I've used them for quite a long time, and I'm seeking your approval today.
Do you have the documentation, I'm assuming,
Yep.
for the unanimous approval?
Yeah, the application has been updated to include.
Okay. Thank you. You have any questions for the applicant? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for flying back in. I knew that was something else.
I'm here. It's beautiful outside.
Okay. I don't, is there anyone else here to speak on this matter? Okay. If not, then I'm looking for a motion.
I move to approve zoning docket 02226 with the 2 provisos as written.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hebert. Any discussion? If not, let's vote. The motion carries. You have 7 yeas. Thank you. Zoning docket 23-26.
Zoning docket 2326 is a request for a conditional use to permit a commercial short-term rental located at 8114 Breakwater Drive, directly adjacent to the previous request at 8112. Again, this site is in an SLM district that would otherwise allow the commercial short-term rental by right. However, it is also within the citywide transient lodging interim zoning district, which allows this use as conditional. Subject site also has a 2,500 square foot, 2-story boathouse, and again is situated along Lake Pontchartrain with the primary access, street access via Breakwater. Similar to the previous, this was heard at the March 10th hearing with CPC, and it was deferred to allow them time to obtain that municipal yacht harbor approval, which was granted at the April 14th board meeting. Staff finds that the proposed use is consistent with the master plan and meets the standards for approval in Article 4 of the CZO. Additionally, staff finds that the proposed use meets the approval standards written into the interim zoning district. Therefore, staff recommends approval of zoning docket 2326, subject to 2 provisos.
Thank you. Mr. James? Please state your name and address again for the
Yep.
record.
James Calley, 8114 Breakwater Drive, New Orleans 70124. Same as I said before, except I want to pass on my regards to the commission. Stephen and Haley have been amazing walking me through this process. It's been great. So I didn't know what to expect, but it's been off the charts great. Thank you. please support me, what we've done with this. Thanks.
We appreciate you saying that about our staff. They're exceptional. I don't have anyone else here to speak on this matter. Commissioners, if you have any questions, if not, I'm looking for a motion. Thank you.
I'll make the motion for approval.
Approval with 2 provisos.
Yes.
Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Hebert. Any discussion? If not, let's vote. The motion carries. There are 7 yeas. Thank you. No, okay. Thank you. We're going to move on to zoning docket 036-26, City Council motion.
Zoning docket 036-26 is a request by City Council Motion M2662 for a text amendment to the CZO to establish definitions, use permissions, use standards, or any building development or design standards for data centers and related uses. In the past month, we focused on learning about these uses. We've looked at similar cities facing the same concerns as models for zoning ordinances and regulations and have spoken with many internal and external stakeholders. At last Thursday's council meeting, the City Council granted an extension of this request to allow 6 months to allow us the coordination of a working group. And so staff is currently putting together a working group that we expect to launch in the coming weeks. It's critical that we have subject matter experts at the table in drafting the regulations to ensure we are all aligned and have the proper procedural steps in order. So staff recommends deferral of this request for 6 months until the July 28th City Planning Commission meeting to allow additional time and coordination.
Thank you. We do have 2 individuals here to speak on this matter.
Osa.
Mr. and Mrs. Bailey and
Osa.
Osa. Mr. Osa. Osa Adun. Please remember to state your name and address.
Hello, my name is Ian Bailey. My address is 2000 Lakeshore Drive, and I appreciate y'all giving this space for us to come and talk. It's good news that we're hearing that there's going to be more deliberation about this issue. I came here to reiterate some of the points that we made last time we were here, which was, for no other reason, the water infrastructure in New Orleans cannot support a data center. The entire purpose of these data centers is that it's a prefabricated office building for computers. These computers need fresh water to run, and we have limited resources here. We have seen in the past few months, in the past few years really, but especially in the last few months, of how the Sewage and Water Board is unable to keep up with current demand, because we've seen water leaks all over the city. And I've been doing research with GIS to show that in New Orleans East, specifically in the same neighborhood that they proposed this initial data center, in that same neighborhood, they've had 9 boil water advisories in the last 15 months. So we can't even provide fresh, clean drinking water for our residents, let alone these computers that will be taking away jobs for our residents. That's what New Orleans East needs, is high-paying jobs for the people who live here, the people who come from here. And so I reiterate again that the water infrastructure in New Orleans is insufficient to sustain this kind of economic development, quote unquote, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for coming back. Mr. Adun?
Hello, Osa Adun, 9217 Apple Street. Thank you for the preliminary report that you guys released. I want to say thank you for your work thus far on the issue. I do have some questions about how the preliminary report was released. I know that there's supposed to be 10 days to comment on, or you're supposed to wait, or there's supposed to be a 10-day period before you submit comment on the docket items. So on April 18th, when I pulled the docket items, I didn't see these two items on that agenda or on this itinerary. So there wasn't really time for the public to give their comment for this issue in particular. So I'm wondering, is there a way or path forward for recourse and to remedy that disparity? Because I did have multiple community members in my community send, their concerns to my email, and I was thinking about or seeking a way to relay that information to you all. And another thing is, in the preliminary report, actually, it seems as if you were about to say something, Mr. Rivers. Were you about to say anything? Or okay, how much time do I have? Okay, 25 seconds. Concerning the preliminary report, my mind is drawing a blank. Yeah. All right, I'll send you an email.
Wait, we want to go ahead and get your question answered.
Could staff speak to the notice, the 10-day notice, and if it's possible to still incorporate the feedback that the gentleman has elevated?
Yeah, so the comments are due the Monday prior to the meeting, and so that would have been, I think, the 20th, if I'm correct. And so it's end of the day on the 20th, and then they're compiled along with the report, and then the report's posted the following day, the Tuesday prior to this meeting, which is a week prior, which is the 21st. And any comments we receive but after that date are compiled with the report and are sent along to the city council when it's transmitted.
Got it. So to affirm, the feedback can still be shared, but will be forwarded over to council.
Yes.
Okay. And if a staffer doesn't mind, just connecting.
I do want to make one correction as well. Earlier I said that it was a 6-month deferral as the request, and it's actually a 3-month. We're asking for a 3-month. It says the council did grant us a 6-month extension on this, but the date, the July 28th date, is just 3 months away.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak on this matter? I have no more cards. Okay, if not, commissioners, do you have any questions? The recommendation is referral till July 28th.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to defer as per staff's recommendation, because I do think this matter deserves a lot of attention. So making a motion to defer zoning docket 036-26.
Thank you.
Second.
Wonderful.
Are there, just real quick, is there any need for a proviso given the need or the notation about a 3-month deferral versus a 6-month deferral? I just want to, okay, we're good.
So we have a motion on the floor for deferral to July 28th. Commissioner Josie Gupta made the motion. Commissioner Poche seconded. Any discussion?
Nope.
If not, then let's vote. The motion carries at 7 yeas. Thank you. Zoning docket 03726.
Zoning docket 3726 is a request for a text amendment to amend Article 19 of the CZO to create an interim zoning district, or an IZD, called the Data Center Interim Zoning District, for the purpose of prohibiting the issuance of any occupational licenses or otherwise permit the operation of data centers. The IZD has technically been in effect since City Council passed the motion for this request January 26th. Staff has coordinated this request with the previous one, zoning docket 3626, for the full text amendment. This report proposes language to codify the IZD in the zoning code to be good for 1 year once the City Council adopts the ordinance, and the proposed language for the IZD creates a definition, since one does not currently exist, and exempts accessory data storage rooms, facilities up to 2,000 square feet. It should be noted that the square foot number is a little less than the data center facility that was originally constructed in this building, City Hall, which staff has used for reference. As discussed previously, staff will be coordinating closely with other departments to refine this definition within the text amendment that will be forthcoming in July. Staff moves for approval. And I also would like to note, we send shout outs in our staff meeting, but it should be noted in front of the commission that I couldn't have done this without Laura. I really couldn't have. She was amazing. She got the definition. She worked hard. So she was a tremendous amount of help on this.
That's great. All right.
Mr. Adu?
Maybe call Isaiah first if Isaiah has a comment. Or is that the only one?
Is there anybody else here to speak on this matter? I just have one card.
What's the card number? 1037. Here you go. You have
We have
two other speakers. Kieran?
Mr. Spencer and Mr. Jabat, and then Mr. Adu. Please come forward, state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Kieran Spencer, 1339 St. Rock Avenue.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Kieran, and I am an organizer with the Louisiana Party for Socialism and Liberation. To speak frankly, the people of New Orleans have lost faith in our city government. We see how again and again our representatives choose corporate interests over the needs of the people who live here. If you choose to expand the use of data centers in New Orleans, you too will be working against the people of this city. What do the people of New Orleans really want? We want a city that fixes our broken streets and drainage systems. We want manageable utility bills that don't funnel more money into corporate profit while we're left struggling to keep the lights on. We want neighborhoods that don't flood every heavy rain and public services that work whether we live in the East, the Lower Nine, or the West Bank. To achieve that, we must reject the expansion of data centers in our city outright. We must choose to use our land and resources to guarantee housing, stability, and infrastructure that actually serves the public. So my question for you is, will this city continue to be shaped for corporate profit or for the working people who call it home? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jabbar.
My name is Ahmed Jabbar, 4999 Burgundy Street. Hello again.
Hi.
We were here last month. In that time, my main point has not changed at all. The way that data centers have been discussed and framed this entire time is fundamentally flawed. We're not talking about a business park or a warehouse. We are talking about something with the impact of an industrial facility. The fact that it was deferred for a month makes that point even more clear. If this were normal commercial use, then why would it take another month to figure out how to make it fit into zoning codes? But the deferral period is over. So today, the people of this city get to see if this system is built to protect the people who live here, or if it's going to choose to have an active role in putting even more economic and environmental burden on working class communities. No one in this room would want a data center next to their home. No one here would want it next to their child's school or a neighborhood park. And after taking extra time for research, no one can honestly say that they wouldn't understand why. Ultimately, this isn't really a question about zoning definitions. It's a question of whether the machinery of this city runs for its people or if it runs for outside developers who want to bleed us dry. The people of this city support the interim prohibition on data centers. The people of this city reject any framework that opens the door for data centers. And let me be clear, the people of this city will correctly interpret any decision made that creates a pathway for data centers as a direct attack on their communities. The people of this city will organize against every permit, every license, every proposed site, every developer, every corporation, and every public official, elected or appointed, who tries to force a data center into our city. If that door opens, expect organized opposition at every step until we close it for good. Either way, there will be no data center in New Orleans. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Adu?
I remember what I wanted to say last time. I just remembered there's also, to complement the preliminary report that you all have compiled so nicely, there are some other resources that I would highly encourage you to take a look at. There's a Policy North Star. It's called the AI Policy North Star. It's a compilation of how different cities, municipalities, and states around the country have been dealing with this issue, whether or not to ban them outright, whether or not to regulate them in a very focused manner, which it seems as if that's what you guys are leaning towards. And there's another report that has a lot of analytics that contextualizes the first report that I mentioned. So if anybody's interested in that report, I guess I can coordinate with whomever to let you guys take a look at that if you're interested. So that's all I wanted to mention. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't have anyone else here to speak on this matter. Okay. Commissioners, any questions for staff? The staff recommendation is approval for the IZD. If not, then a motion? Perfect. Commissioner Jordan?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve
Motion to approve.
the IZD. And Commissioner Hebert.
And Commissioner Hebert has seconded. All right, any discussion?
I just want to say for the record, just to reiterate our last conversation about this, it's so important that we define what we're trying to limit, because right now we don't have enough details, and this IZD will help us. And looking at national references are going to be just as important. So I just want to thank the community for coming up here and voicing their opinions, and also giving us more insight, so that way we can do our due diligence in supporting council to do its work.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries 7 yeas. Thank you. So the IAZD is in, we'll move on. All right, let's move on to zoning docket 042-26.
Zoning docket 042-26 is a request by City Council motion number M-26-93 to amend the definition of dwelling small multifamily affordable in Article 26, Section 26.6 to include not only affordable housing units offered for rental, but also dwellings offered as permanently affordable for sale housing and by not-for-profit community land trusts offering long-term ground leases respective of owners and lessors. Additionally, to consider related amendments that set reasonable requirements for this use, including but not limited to the use standards contained in Article 20, Section 20.3.SSS, and use tables throughout the CZO. Staff recommends deferral of zoning docket 42-26 to the May 26, 2026 meeting to allow adequate time for staff to properly research and discuss changes made to the previous motion City Council provided, number M-25-534, done under zoning docket 062-25.
Thank you. I don't have any cards here to speak. All right, commissioners then, if you'd like to make a motion or have a discussion. Or Mr. Commissioner Jackson, you've made a motion.
Make a motion to defer
Perfect. Till May 26th?
to May 26th.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll second that motion.
And Commissioner Jordan has seconded. Thank you so much. Any discussion? Let's vote. The motion carries with 7 yeas. Thank you. Zoning docket 043-26.
This is a request to change the zoning from an HURD2 historic urban two-family residential district to a C2 auto-oriented commercial district. The petition site is located on a local street perpendicular to the South Claiborne Avenue corridor within the Milan neighborhood. The applicant proposes to rezone the property to expand permitted uses and allow flexibility for future commercial development consistent with the surrounding C2 district. The site is directly adjacent to high-intensity commercial uses, As a result, the property already experiences conditions typically associated with commercial environments rather than interior residential blocks. However, the degree of impact is dependent on the end use of the site. The subject property is designed for a two-family dwelling and is not suited for the broader range and intensity of commercial activity allowed under the C2 zoning. Staff is recommending denial of zoning docket 043-26.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clover? Sir, we wouldn't be able to look at your additional items unless we make a motion. Are you wanting to present some things to the commission?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to suspend the rules so we can look at what he's presenting us.
I second.
Thank you. So there's a motion on the floor to suspend the rules so that we could actually look at the supplemental items. And there is a first and a second motion. Can you, do you mind hitting the computer, please? Maybe touching, hitting's probably not the right. And then, yes, we have first and second. Any discussion? If not, let's vote. Perfect. We have 7 yeas to suspend the rules. Yes. Your name and address, please.
My name is Jake Glover, 4709 Barone, 70115.
And you're the applicant?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Got 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for the motion. Sorry, I didn't realize I needed to do that. But anyways, I'm here on behalf of the owners of 2923-25 Milan Street. So just to address these images I brought quickly, first, I just wanted to highlight the zoning map. You can see that the property sits effectively carved out of an established block of commercial uses. It's surrounded on 3 sides by high-intensity properties, active in-business properties along the South Claiborne corridor. And then I have also brought just some photos that give you a sense of what that really means on the ground. You can see the Wendy's drive-through and that drive-through exit directly across the street, and an active gas station just a few feet away from the front door. So as the staff report in their reading said, they acknowledge in their report that these conditions make residential use here pretty unattractive. We agree with that. That's really the crux of our disagreement with the way the property is zoned. It's also worth noting that the property was zoned commercially for, I think, about 40 years from up until 1970. So it's not an entirely new concept that this property be zoned commercially. I do also want to address specifically with the gas station. It came up as one of the larger concerns from some of our neighbors, both in our meeting and then also with in some of the comments that we received from them since then. So just to be straightforward, we do have a purchase agreement in place with the owner of the real estate of that gas station. That said, that's not what we're presenting here today. We have no plan really related to that. And certainly we would be seeking this zoning change regardless of whether that was in place and because of all the reasons we've listed. I'd also note that obviously any future commercial use by us, by a gas station owner, by another owner would obviously need to go through its own separate permitting and approval process. So to conclude, we believe that this zoning opens the door to uses that are a more natural fit for this location and for this specific property, and none of these are possible under the current zoning.
Thank you. You will have a time to rebut. So let's go to the, I believe that this time is not accurate, correct?
Apologies.
Okay. Don't be sorry.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and move to the opposition. Ms. Rosalind Pichard?
I was wondering why those guys were here.
And then Mr. or Mrs. Jessie Martinez? Hi, please remember to state your name and address.
I wrote it down so I couldn't forget anything. I am Rosalind Pacia.
Do you mind just putting the mic? We want to be able to hear you. You can pull it down.
Y'all making fun of short people?
Thank you.
I am Rosalind McGee Pacia. I purchased my home at 2626 Milan in 1987. My home, like many of the other houses within the Clamata boundaries, have historical designation. The boundaries are from Red to Claiborne, Louisiana to Napoleon Avenue. Neighbors push their children in strollers and walk their dogs throughout our neighborhood. New homes are continually being built on the vacant lots, and others are being renovated. Clamata property owners are active participants in the City of New Orleans neighborhood cleanup, green infrastructure enhancement, and water through management from planting trees. We host a block party gathering all of the city along with the city's annual night out against crime. Many of the city officers come and sit up, and we enjoy the block party right in front of my house, 2600 block of Milan. We ask the City Planning Commission to continue to put people first and our neighborhoods first. Please do not allow this intrusion into the Clamata historical neighborhood. Thank you.
Mr. or Mrs. Jesse Martinez? And you have, would you like to concede your time to Ms. Marion Daniels?
Yes.
I have a Ms. Marion Daniels, and then I have that Jesse Martinez would like to concede their time, but if that's not the case, that's fine.
She's conceding her time to him.
Oh, what's your name?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Jesse Martinez.
Okay, perfect.
My address is 2639 Milan Street. I purchased my home in December of 2023. So I'm very familiar. I'm actually an active member of the Clamata Association. And so everything that Rosalind has stated is absolutely correct. You know, one of the reasons I moved into the neighborhood was because it was quiet, it was very peaceful. You see people outside walking their dogs, children playing in the yard. It is very conducive to family life. There is a new development, I would say new homes that are being built. And I think that an intrusion of this rezoning would take away what the association has worked so hard over these years. If you approve this, when does it stop? Are we going to continue to allow businesses and owners to, business owners and development, of commercial development, to intrude into our neighborhood, which would then make our entire Clamata neighborhood go away? I mean, they've worked so hard for this. It needs to be denied. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. And Ms. Marion, you do not want to speak? No. Okay. Joyce Roussel? And you have time ceded to you, so you could speak for 4 minutes, if you'd like.
We did it reversed. She doesn't want to speak. You want to speak, Joe? Come on, baby.
Oh, Mr. Joseph Pacia would like to speak. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you. Please say
My
your
name
address.
is Joyce Roussel.
Okay.
I've been living 2919 Milan, which is the house next door to where they want to put it's an auto-related business. I've been in that neighborhood since 1969. And I don't think we need to have a business in a residential neighborhood. We don't have a lot of, crime or whatever. We don't know what type of business is going to be in that residence. So I'd like y'all to consider, I live next door to what they want to what business they want to be and break up our neighborhood. Thank you.
Ma'am, do you live on the red portion of that or the yellow portion of that?
Yellow? We the house next, I'm not, 29, 23.
Okay,
It's a driveway. I'm in that house, the
Okay.
29 right there.
thank you.
Thank you.
Denise Burns?
Good afternoon, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to this issue. I'm here representing myself and many of my other neighbors. I'm sorry, Denise Burns, 4133 Willow Street. I own a fourplex, so it's 41, 27, 29, 31, and 33. And I bought that property in 2016 and have lived there since then. After speaking to my neighbors, some of which you've already heard from, and also seeing this presentation at a previous little meeting, I vehemently am opposed to encroaching any more on what we are struggling to hold on to as a community and a neighborhood, a place where people do sit on their porches and say hello, who do walk their dogs. This will never end. And this was a residential property for decades before it was purchased. So we have a hard time believing that this is a place that no one wants to live. They had to kick out the former tenants, or they didn't have to, but they kicked out the former tenants when they purchased this. So there were people already living in said property. We have fought through terrible drainage that has caused, totaled my car after not a tornado or a hurricane, but a storm that didn't even get mentioned. That's finally been resolved, but we work very hard to keep our property values stable. We work very hard to keep a neighborhood where we have people that have young children all the way up to elderly people that have been in place for decades. Having this map does not give you an indication of what our neighborhood looks like. We are one block. I live one block off of South Claiborne. Had I known that we were going to begin taking chunks out of Milan or any other street that I border with, I would not have purchased the property.
Thank you. That is your time. And
I think I had. If somebody's given me their time, am I able to continue?
Yes, Ms. Carrie.
Kylie, Lemmy, and Lemily.
She said she's not speaking, so she can concede
Okay.
her time to you.
We're dealing with light pollution, noise pollution. The gas station on the corner is under new ownership, and they've done what they felt like was necessary in providing new lighting. But you could land a helicopter back there now. And so that affects our backyards. I can see that lighting from my laundry room and my second bedroom window. My neighbors can see it from their private spaces as well. So we do not need to see, like I said, this year it's this property. Then are we going to start calling Miss Joyce's property not reasonable for residential use? It's a one-way street. There's no parking, no off-street parking there. If you were to use this as a business, where would those people park? It would take the limited amount of parking space that we already have to fight for and put it in the hands of commerce. And that's not how we want to see our property used. Let me just double check my notes really quickly before I leave. So light, noise, and air pollution with more traffic, people turning down a one-way street incorrectly if they're trying to access that business. We see traffic, trash. Oh, the trash, we already have an issue with the gas station as it sits there. We have many people in the neighborhood that walk by and systematically, when they go out for a walk, take something so they can pick up the trash that comes from people just walking down from the gas station with whatever they've purchased and tossing their trash. So we don't want any more of that in our neighborhood. And we've already become with the Ferret corridor and South Claiborne being there, we've already become a pretty well-traveled area, the Clamaina neighborhood has. So I think that none of us want to see that encouraged. And I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. or Mrs. Kabat? I won't speak. Okay. Ms. Linda Bourdonnais?
Hi. I'm Linda Bourdonnais. I live at 2720 General Pershing Street. My husband has owned the property since 1985, and I've been there since 1990, so a long time. It's just, I didn't really prepare anything, but we're surrounded, the neighborhood, by Louisiana Avenue, Claiborne, Napoleon, Ferret. So there's already tons of commercial around us already. So we just feel like if things start encroaching into our neighborhood, you know, it'll no longer be a neighborhood. The gas station is under new ownership, but prior to that, there's a lot of loitering there, lots of activity that we don't want coming into our neighborhood. And we certainly don't want a tire shop or some additional, I mean, you know, it's just not conducive. I know after Katrina, there was a big project to redo this whole city for green space and lots of different things. They rezoned our neighborhood, so it would just be RD2. There have been some properties that are grandfathered in, but for anybody to allow this to happen, we just feel like it's just a total, it would just lead to more encroachment into the neighborhood. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any, oh, please, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Pacho, 2626 Marlin Street, president of the Clemana Neighborhood Association, of which this request resides. I want to reemphasize the fact that the residents of Marlin Street, surrounding area, and within our boundaries, the Clemana Neighborhood Association, express our opposition to the proposed rezoning of 2923, 2925 Marlin Street from HU RD2, Historic Urban Two-Family Residential, to C2, General Commercial, under Project 25-1828. The designation the property currently is under, zoning is under, protects the historic characteristics of the neighborhood and reserves the property for residential use. By contrast, the C2 designation, the property's potential new zoning, is intended, as we understand, for large-scale auto-oriented commercial uses, strip commercial development, which requires significant parking. Rezoning the property to C2 would remove an important residential buffer, introduce commercial intensity incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood, and set a precedent for future commercial encroachment beyond the Claiborne corridor. You should have a copy of the petition, which was signed by 71 residents, the support of the Clemana Neighborhood Association, and we request you deny this request for a zoning change. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we confirm that we have a copy of the petition in the report?
I'm sorry, a copy of the
petition that was signed?
There is a copy of the petition that we received. We also received an updated one today.
Okay.
That is not included in the report as it was received after deadline.
Okay.
We have copies
Thank
if
you.
necessary.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak on this matter? Okay. Sir, you're able to come back and hopefully answer some of the concerns of the neighbors. Are you able to pull up Google or a map of the street view?
So here is the aerial, and I will
drop right in front of it.
Okay. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay, Jake Glover. Just kind of wrote down some notes on a lot of these comments. I guess the first question, which again, I understand it. This is right now. This property does serve as the buffer, so I understand the concern that the buffer can slide down the street, so to speak, and I understand the concern about wanting to stop that. But I guess our contention would be that, if you approve this, when does it stop? Our view is it should stop at where it stops for all of the properties around us. I understand that there are commercial uses there now, but basically what happens right now is we're just inserted into that pocket. To the question of our contention that it's not really compatible with residential uses, we have been, after we took ownership of the property, there were tenants there who were there for some time. Since then, we have done some repairs and we've been trying to place it back into service as residential. Well, if denied, we'll continue to do that. We just secured a long-term tenant in connection with Hano. So, I mean, the plan is, at least for the short term, is to try to continue to do that. It's just been very difficult to do that. The question about, there's this broad list of uses under C2, which I understand in the name of it sounds scary, auto-oriented commercial. The purpose for that is what is around us. So it felt like our best chance at getting to what we felt was a better set of uses for the property to request C2 zoning as opposed to something else. But to that point, certainly any provisos or conditions that you all would want to place or the council would want to place that would allow us to get some sort of commercial use in there in connection with this request, we would be more than willing to accept.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do. What are some of the ideas for development down the road in that you're seeking this change at all?
We don't really know. It's office would be a big one. We have a lot of, we're in the commercial real estate business. We have a lot of people, small businesses that are frequently looking for smaller offices, particularly on major corridors like that. So that would be one. That's probably the primary one that comes to mind. Neighborhood retail is another one that comes to mind. We do a lot of business in that department. So those are the two kind of main ones, but it becomes very hard to place tenants like that if it's a requirement of them to get the right to do that, conduct their whatever that business is at the location prior to having a lease signed.
How long have your clients owned the property?
2022, mid-2022.
And so why this property? Why are you guys interested in commercial development down the road in this particular property?
So the broader context of this is this property was included in a large portfolio of properties that was sold, larger multifamily properties for the most part that were sold in that deal. So this is just one that was with it that now we're trying to figure out the best way to get the best use out of it, put it back in commerce.
My comment is that if you have read the staff report, you can see that your request doesn't conform with the general set of criteria to evaluate whether it's a fair, legitimate, and lawful use of the land. I think that without really any compelling reason for doing this, a particular development idea even that might help move the needle a little bit, it would be hard for me to go against all of these residents who are sitting in here with legitimate concerns about an additional commercial property creeping into the neighborhood.
I have one question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, did I misunderstand? Do you own the shell station next door?
No,
You don't?
we do not.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, Commissioner Aber.
Just want to make a comment that I think it's wonderful that all of the neighbors, that you all are dedicated to preserving your neighborhood. It's great to see a good showing like you all are doing right now. So thank you for the protection of your community.
If there's no other questions, then I would be looking for a motion.
I move to deny docket, what are we on? 4326.
A second.
Yeah, we just,
Let me clarify that. I'm moving to
Right.
approve staff's recommendation to deny. Thank you.
and is that a second, Commissioner Stieg? Okay, any discussion? The motion is for denial. We have a first and a second, so if not, then let's vote. Thank you. That's 7 yeas. The motion is to deny. Okay. All right, let's move on to zoning docket 045-26. Oh, 4426.
Oh, 44.
Thank you. Okay. I might be needing glasses, can you tell?
Zoning docket 4426 is a request to change a property's zoning classification from HURD2 to MHUMU to allow the currently undeveloped site to be developed with 2 new mixed-use buildings that will feature commercial uses on the ground floor level and residential use above. Although certain non-residential uses are already permitted as conditional use in the HURD2 zoning district, those uses, neighborhood commercial establishments or NCEs, require the site to contain an existing building possessing specific structural and historical characteristics. Thus, a vacant lot cannot be developed for NCE use. So a zoning change is the only means by which a non-residential use can be established at the subject property. Given the site's proximity to the South Claiborne Avenue commercial corridor, the anticipated impact of the requested zoning change would be negligible, especially as pertains to non-residential uses which already exist in the 2800 block of Jackson Avenue. There's a traditional corner store at 2801 Jackson Avenue. However, the proposed zoning change is not consistent with the master plan. The goal and ranges for the residential low district pre-warp future land use category intends to preserve and promote residential development and only encourages residential serving businesses where a history of commercial use exists. This is not the case with the petition site, which is currently vacant, and according to Sanborn maps from the early to mid 20th century, was always developed with residences. Therefore, the staff is obliged to recommend denial of zoning docket 4426.
Thank you. I'll be stepping in temporarily for our chair. We have one comment card for information from Ms. Lynette Gordon. Would you like to speak?
Also, there was 2 other people, but I think they didn't know to fill out the paperwork. But before I make a comment, I just want to say something off the record, if I could, because we've been sending emails, and I'm not sure if anybody is getting our emails, but it's other firms such as mine who has been getting some fraudulent emails. Are you guys aware of those fraudulent emails? Okay, just because I sent emails to say, are you guys aware of this? Because one of my employees almost paid for it until she asked me for my credit card, and I realized that it was fraud. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware, because it looks very legitimate. It's all of y'all's names, y'all emails, and everything on the email. Yes. So
Thank you.
Okay.
We are aware, I know, I've gotten the emails too asking for money.
Okay.
And, you would never pay the chair.
I think it's the wiring thing that kind of
correct.
throws it off, but some people just don't know, but.
So our executive director, do you want to comment on that at all?
Sure. We've been aware of this for quite some time. We've alerted our IT department to see if they can do anything about it. I understand it's a nationwide problem. I just saw an article that cities all over the country are experiencing the same thing. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so we've put notices up. We've amended our application to put some warnings and just really urge everyone to be careful about responding to emails that they didn't initiate.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make that aware because it also hurts the client because the clients think they've been approved already. So, and now as professionals, we have to go in and say, you're not approved, it's fraud. But nevertheless, I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. And let's just restart the clock to 2 minutes. And if you are here to speak on this matter, please grab a card and bring it up so that we can note the record. So Ms. Gordon.
Okay, so nevertheless, I just wanted to come today. I'm actually representing the owner, which is one of them are here today. I often tell people that, I've been doing this for 35 years, and I never try to fight for something that I don't believe in because I, too, live in a neighborhood. So what we did with this client was really sit down with them and walk the neighborhood together. We talked to the church across the street. We've been trying to get back in contact with the pastor because, of course, the NPP meetings always helps. And trying to really connect with them because one of the major concerns was with the gas station on the corner with all the loitering and what can we do together to make this better. But as we peruse the neighborhood, just kind of talk to a few people, we tried to match what was already there. Our intentions are to do a small kind of neighborhood bookstore, coffee shop, things that you can walk and enjoy in the neighborhood of things that, prepackaged breads and coffee shops and kind of little bit neighborhood boutique type of business in this neighborhood. And also incorporate the residential aspect in it as well. But what we tried to do was do what was already there. So we thought by neighboring next to what we're asking to zoning to be changed to was connecting what was already there. Also looking at the corner, which is already there. So we're not asking for specific to change spot zoning in an area that's not already spot zone. We're trying to match the fabric of the community. We're trying to match what is there. We want to be great neighbors. We want to be understanding of the neighborhood and its environment. We spoke to people while we were out there putting out signs, and they were too saying that they thought that this was a good gesture for the neighborhood. Their most important concern is how can we team together and get the stuff that's happening on the corner.
She has another 2 minutes because Ms. Stewart had conceded her time.
Okay, so with that being said, with us wanting to be great neighbors, we're open to ideas. We're open to design standards. How can we make, one of the things the owner wanted it to be more of a commercial or modern look, but we're actually finally convinced them, let's make it look more residential scale. We want this to be inviting to the neighborhood, not to the business side of Claiborne. We're not trying to invite people to come off of Claiborne into this site. We want to incorporate the people from the community. That's why we were willing to put in certain provisos to the community. We were willing to say, hey, what can we do for litter abatement? What can we do for neighborhood meetings where we can have a space where we can meet, where we can have neighborhood meetings? We want to be neighborhood oriented. That is the reason why we match what is already there. So I'm very confused on why we don't match the master plan of the fabric of this community if we're trying to do something to aspire that community to come up and to be a part of it. We're not trying to go against it and try to make it a commercial zone to bring in large-scale businesses. This is boutique type of businesses that we can have to service the community. This is not a corner convenience store. That's not what they want there. That's not what they need in this community. So that is what our vision is. And we're open to advice and what can we do other than going in like most people want to do. My clients come in and they affordable, they can go put up 4 units on this property and the square footage doesn't matter. If they can't park, it doesn't matter. None of that matters if they go in and put in 4 units. And to me, it becomes too many people on one site where we can actually have it to where we have in 1-bedroom apartments on the 2nd floor and then the 1st floor being a commercial use for boutique type of businesses that can serve the community.
Thank you.
Okay?
Is there anyone else here to speak on this matter? So there's no opposition? Do you all have questions for the applicant?
I have a question. What was on that location before? What was on that lot?
It's been vacant for a long time. Do you know what was on there before? It's been vacant for many, many, many years. The prior owner of the gas station, and just to give you a little bit of history, wanted that property to be incorporated years ago with the gas station. But that was, of course, denied because it would change it would change the direction of the site because the longer part of the site would face Jackson at that point. So that's out the door. I mean, I would have never represented something like that, but this is totally separate from that. And we're trying to do something to go the opposite direction than to try to feed it to invite people in from Claiborne, if that makes any sense. We've met with the church across the street, and so the MPP meeting went very, very well. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who called and spoke to and we met with after we asked them to sign the petitions and, it just did, because a lot of them are renters, to tell you the truth. So I'm just giving you the facts of the matter. I'd rather be honest and tell you the truth, but most people who are renting a property doesn't care more like the owners themselves. The owner owns this property. They're here. They're not involved. They want to be good neighbors. And it's like, how do we make that happen?
Commissioner Jordan?
I have just a question to staff. If you could just speak to the crux of the issue. I know really this is fundamentally about land use, about a land use change, right? But there are cited spot zones of HUMU that are showing up on the same block. Just if there's any additional context you can offer, would be helpful.
Yes, I can speak to that a little bit. So the only reason really why our recommendation is for denial is because of the master plan consistency. The FLUM for that site is residential low density, which only allows for a zoning change to a commercial zoning when there is a history of a commercial use or historic commercial structure already existing on the site, like a typical corner store in a historic neighborhood. So that's not the case here, which is why the request technically does not meet the master plan. Other than that, actually, the report does acknowledge that the proposal meets the other standards for approval. For example, it is acknowledging that it is a mixed-use area. There is already an HUMU district adjacent to it, so it is sandwiched between a C2 and HUMU. So there are several reasons that would favor the request if it was not for the strict master plan, or at least the way we interpret that master plan section.
And if the commission were to go against staff recommendations, what would we need to consider?
You would just have to word why you think that it meets, that is consistent or does not interfere with the master plan.
Okay, thank you.
I think it does not. Yeah, I think it being adjacent to HUMU to me makes the case, because if you look at the Google Maps or what is in that block, it looks like it's commercially used and traffic, the traffic patterns. I'm assuming that if we approve this, that then whatever plans that they come up with for this property will have to go through zoning and that review of the development, whatever development they actually propose on this property, because that is my concern, that yes, we approve this against staff recommendations, but then, you know, I haven't seen a plan for the property or what you're proposing and what you're saying. Like, I haven't seen a plan for that
It
property.
would not go back to planning commission. That would not,
But it would go through permits.
it would have to, yeah, it would have to get a permit, and it would be subject to whatever other design standards in HUMU. So for example, I'm pretty sure typically the buildings would have to front, you know, towards the front of the site, having the parking in the back, if there's parking, things like that.
So for what they're proposing, with the retail on the bottom and
That would be possible as well, yes.
with parking and everything on this particular lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say like the alternatives, as it's currently zoned, is to just build a strictly residential property, either 1 or 2 family. My question would be, who would want to build on this lot when it's sandwiched between all of these businesses? So it seems to me that despite it going against the CZO, it seems like a very suitable use of this land.
Be commercial.
I'm careful not to undermine the staff and the CZO, but
But this is why we're here to vet these discussions and have conversations, especially about the streetscape, and try to bring some logic also to the.
I have a motion.
Oh, and Commissioner Speak has a motion. He's telling me stop talking, Chair.
I second.
I move for against staff recommendation. It's clear that staff felt constrained by the technicalities to put out the report the way they did, which we appreciate, and it's our job to look beyond it, not necessarily y'all's, and for the reasons that we've already articulated, that it's sandwiched in there. There are 2 HUMUs already in the block. I think the master plan's adequately addressed, so my motion is for against staff recommendation for approval of the zoning change.
Thank you. And is there a second by, yes, Commissioner Josie Gupta?
I've seconded this motion because, again, through our discussions, and I agree with Commissioner Steeg, I think it's important to look at the reality of the situation of every block of our neighborhoods as to see what's really happening. I hate to see empty, vacant lots sitting around, especially in commercial viable areas. So I'd really like to see this back in commerce as soon as possible.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We need to vote.
Okay.
And then you'll need to state your name and address too, because I
Oh,
heard
yes,
your
I can
address,
do
but
that.
let's go ahead and vote. I'm going to vote, I'm going to agree. Just an interesting stat, it takes 10 years longer to develop a vacant lot than it does to renovate a house. So we are just moving this vacant lot forward and putting some life back into this.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, let's vote. Oh, it's just me. Can you just state your address, please?
The Net Garden, Spectrum Designs, and it's 1929 Jutland Drive, Harvey, Louisiana, 756.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to zoning docket 045-26, and I just have one card to speak. If there's more, please consider filling out.
This is a request to, for zoning change from SRS Suburban Single Family District to an OSN Neighborhood Open Space District. It would expand an existing open space district onto 4 vacant lots to enable an existing cemetery to increase in size. It would result in having only 2 left residential lots on that square, so effectively singling out those 2 residential zoned lot. But we think that the proposal from a land use perspective would not generate much negative impacts on those residential properties. The OSN Neighborhood Open Space District is one of the least impactful zoning district, as it's intended to provide for parks located within neighborhoods and serving as recreation areas for residents. That district only allows a very limited amount of uses, which generally provide green, quiet amenities to residential areas. For all those reasons, we think that the proposal in change does not conflict with the master plan and is compatible with surrounding zoning and uses, then the recommendation is for approval.
Thank you. I have Mr. Eddie Powell. Remember to state your name and address.
Certainly. Good afternoon. Eddie Powell, 638 Village Lane North, Mandeville, Louisiana. Thank you all so much for hearing us. I'm here on behalf of the Hebrew Rest Cemetery Association, seeking the approval of the rezoning that we've requested to go to open space with these lots. The plan is to eventually expand the cemetery with a pavilion structure similar to the other quadrant of their facility that we did several years back, and I just provide more area for the burial plots. We had our neighborhood meeting. Everything went pretty well. Everybody seemed to be on board. We told them we'd keep them in the loop as things developed, but I'm just taking this first step to get it rezoned before we do anything further.
Are you the architect?
The engineer, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, of
So do I understand from the staff report that at the neighborhood meeting, the neighbors who came, you were able to adequately address all their concerns and they had no opposition?
Yes, sir. Sure were.
And those were some of the neighbors who lived in the block of the lots or
Yes, sir.
or
One of the
adjacent?
couples lived in the house on Mandolin, right next to it, and then the other ones were across the street.
Okay.
So very familiar with the property.
Any other questions? Is there anyone else here to speak on this matter? Okay, there's no opposition, so we'd be looking for a motion.
I move for approval.
Thank you.
The property's very well maintained. It's a good neighbor, always has been, and so I move for approval.
And I'll second.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor for approval from Commissioner Stieg, seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Any discussion? If not, let's vote. The motion carries 7 yeas. Thank you. Zoning docket 046-26.
This item actually has been withdrawn by the applicant.
Okay. Easy enough. Let's move on to the property disposition 001-26.
And this one is automatically to be deferred to the May 12th because of lack of public notice error.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's nothing we need to do there since it's automatic. Then we'd be looking for the subdivision ratification since there's nobody else here to speak.
This is a list of subdivision applications that we have deemed approvable administratively, so you are ratifying this decision.
And Commissioner Jordan has moved approval as well as Commissioner Poche has seconded. So any discussion?
No?
All right, let's vote. That's 7 yeas. The subdivisions have been ratified. Thank you. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Jackson.
I want to make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? All right, and
I was waiting for Commissioner Avery. I figured they were going to.
so we've end the meeting on a high note with our two commissioners. Commissioner Jackson, yes, Commissioner Jackson was the mover. Commissioner Hebert was the second. And meeting adjourned. We welcome our new commissioners. We're really glad you're here with us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for, oh.
We always help Miss Nicole. We give her all of our things, right?